Hi, how are you? So last week I had a chance to do a presentation to a group of people called the Borawatu, and the topic was about not tying, why we tie our self-worth with social media. The topic was more of not feeling enough. So in one of the things I shared, one of the ways of improving our self-worth is knowing our core values. One of the attendants asked, or the attendees, the participants in the webinar asked, how can I know my core values? To understand the core values, how can we get these core values? How can we look at it? What are values? Values, these are what drive our motivation and aspirations. And some of the importances of knowing your values, or you knowing your core values, is one, it's going to help you in clarifying on your purpose and on your vision. It's going to help you with you being proactive. It is going to help you to identify any misalignment. How? If you know what your core values are, they'll help you in clarifying on your vision. For example, many of us or many of you are reflecting on how 2024 is and how you can conclude the year at better terms. Some of you are actually coming up with goals for 2025. But if these goals are not in alignment with your values, they'll always be back and forth. They'll always be back and forth. That's why sometimes we even set goals and we fail to put them into action because we realize later that either they are not workable or it's not possible because they're not in alignment with our values. So this is the right time for you to actually get to know your values and see, before you go ahead and take any actions, are these values, are these goals in alignment with your values? It helps with proactivity. How? For example, if you get to know that your value is kindness, that means it will always remind you on how best can you be proactive. Maybe doing charity work, going to different maybe charity events, helping one another. And even in times when you don't feel like helping, that you're always reminded of that value, that you know what, it's good to help, and then you end up helping. So knowing your values is really, really critical. How can we know our values? So we're going to go through an exercise called the pyramid exercise. I've already drawn this to make the video a little short and make it a little bit brief. We're going to go through the pyramid exercise, and then we see how best can we come up with our core values. So number one on how you can come up with your core values is get a list of values. You can get maybe from social media. I'll put some in the description below, but get some from social media. Get a list of values like maybe we have spirituality, peace, productivity, kindness, integrity, humility, fun, independency, like very many. There's a list of values. You can just go in the Google and put a list of values. So once you get those values, maybe the list could be 10 or 100. Pick out that 10 core values that you feel actually speak to you. The 10 core values. So according to this table here, or what I've put on this chart here, is I've come up with maybe 10, just an illustration for illustration purposes. So the 10 I've come up with are spirituality, productivity, peace, integrity, personal growth, beauty, love, kindness, creativity, success. So remember, we are looking at the value pyramid exercise to help us come up with our core values. So out of the list of 100 values, maybe these are the core 10 values. Spirituality, productivity. So how do you know which one speaks more to you? So it's always important to know which one actually speaks to you. So we have our list here. So these are the values, then a column of tallying and the score. So we tally one against the other. We never go up, we always have to come down. For example, we tally spirituality and productivity. You ask yourself, which one is more important to you? Now, do not based on this, the list you've come up with, the list of 10 core values that speak to you is what you'll use. Spirituality and value number 1 and value number 2, which one speaks to you? So here, the example is spirituality and productivity. Which one speaks to you more? Then spirituality and peace, spirituality and integrity, spirituality and personal growth, spirituality and beauty, spirituality, love, like that. You compare all. Then you keep tallying spirituality and productivity. If it is spirituality, you tally. Spirituality and peace. If it is spirituality, you tally, like that. Then you come to the next, maybe productivity and peace. Remember, we said we don't go upwards, we come down. Productivity and peace. Which one speaks more to you? If it is peace, you come and tally. Productivity and integrity, which one speaks to you? If it is integrity, you come and tally. Productivity and personal growth. Maybe you say it's productivity, you come under productivity. The one that speaks more is where you put a mark. So you go on peace and integrity, peace and personal growth, peace and beauty, like that. Personal growth and personal growth and love, personal growth and kindness, like that. Beauty and love, beauty and kindness, beauty and creativity, beauty. So you do all the 10. Remember, we don't go up, we just come down. So after tallying, you get the score. You count and then put the score. So this helps you to identify which core values actually speak to you. So I want you to find some time and sit down and reflect and find out which values actually speak to you more. And then in the ranking, during this exercise, some of the things that you might be caught off guard. For example, you might be surprised which value appears more on the pyramid. Here, some values are going to shock you. For example, someone may ask you, when in class we are asked, what are some of the values that speak to you? People will say integrity, kindness. But sometimes when you go through this exercise, you're going to be shocked that maybe kindness is below the pyramid. It's not like your number one or number two, or even a part of your top 5 values. Because now you come comparing the two, and you'll be shocked that some of the values that you thought were actually important to you, and they're not really among the top. They're not really among the top ranking. So that is number one. So you'll get surprises. The number 2 that I want us to look out for is, what are some of the negative feelings that you get after doing this exercise? Is there any misalignment? For example, sometimes you might be at your workplace and you say, oh, my boss is bad. I don't like my boss. Work is boring. I feel like resigning. But this exercise is going to help you know what negative feelings are they actual true negative feelings, or is just a misalignment. You might actually find that maybe one of your values or some of the things that speak to you is working with a team. Like you prefer working with a team, you prefer working in a crowd, you prefer working with many people. But then the nature of work that you have is more of sitting on your desk and just seated there alone doing work alone, and that makes work boring. So you might end up saying, my boss is bad, yet actually there's something that is not speaking to you. So this exercise is going to help you see that misalignment. Then also, once you're doing this exercise, once you're done, you'll also need to sit and reflect. All the actions you've been taking, are they in alignment? What values here actually are true? That maybe you said spirituality, according to you, is one of the important values, and actually, according to this exercise, spirituality was among them. So these are some of the things we need to reflect to. And then also another thing that we need to reflect to is, amongst these ones, or after you doing this exercise, what values are clashing? What are the actionable steps? What actions are you going to take to be in alignment? What actions are you going to take to align yourself with your values? As you come up with the goals for 2025, as you reflect on your 2024, what actions are you going to take to align yourself with these values? From now on, all your actions you take, reflect, think, are they in alignment? If I say I'm kind, is the action I'm doing right now, is it in alignment with my values? So if you say that spirituality is your value, are the actions you're speaking, your actions you're taking, are they in alignment? Are they what your God wants you to do? If you say your value is having fun, is you staying in bed all weekend in alignment with your value? So this exercise is going to help you to know what to do, when and how. Before you take the actions that you're doing, are they in alignment with your values? So it's going to help you this exercise is going to help you to align yourself, to take the right actions, to do the right actions at the right time, and they should be in alignment with your values. So that is how, in brief, we can come up with our core values. And in case of any questions, please drop them in the comment section below, reach out, and we can go in depth. Thank you so much. I pray that from now on, your actions are in alignment with your values.